Hello everyone, welcome to Simple Crochet channel. I'm so glad to be with you in this video. In this video I'm going to introduce square 2 with a different stitch. As you can see, I'm going to explain it with two variations. I hope you like it and find it clear enough for you. So let's start. Okay, first of all, I want to thank each and everyone who just shares their creation and beautiful pictures about the first stitch and just gave me a beautiful feedback and comment for the previous one. I really like all your comments and feedbacks. I'm enjoying to do this with you and really thank you very much. I really appreciate every beautiful thing that you said. To start this stitch, as I did before, I'm going to introduce it into a chart and read the chart with you, and of course I'm going to write a pattern, PDF pattern for the stitch, and I'm going to leave it in the Facebook group for those who wants to download it and just have it all the time. Now we have said that these arrows in the chart shows the directions of the work. Now we are going to start from here. This is the starting point. We're going to chain multiple of 2, and at the last we chain 1 for our height. Now we have this circle which means chain and is abbreviated to as CH. Now we have this symbol. Another symbol that we have here is this T symbol or this shape, which means half double crochet and is abbreviated to as HDC. So whenever you come across HDC, you are going to do a half double crochet, and I'm going to show you how you do it. You just yarn over the hook and insert the hook in the chain and yarn over, pull through, and you will have 3 loops on your hook. You just yarn over and pull through all the 3 loops together, and of course I'm going to show you. But in this short we are going to be introduced to 3 different variation of half double crochet. So the basic stitch is half double crochet, but we're going to introduce it into another shape, which is this T and the dot above it with this arrow, which means half double slip stitch. And another stitch is this symbol, which means that you're going to do 2 half double crochet done together as the first stitch that we introduced in the previous videos or the previous square. But this time I'm not going to do 2 single crochet done together. I'm doing 2 half double crochet done together and is abbreviated to as HD2 together. Now let me explain it one more time. I'm going to here chain the number of stitches that I need, then I'm going to chain 1 for the height, then work the whole row as half double crochet. Now after finishing this row, I'm going to chain 1 for the height. I'm going to chain 1 all through the rows, then work half double slip stitch all through the line or the row. Then to start row 4, you are going to chain 1, then do another row of half double slip stitch and another row for half double slip stitch. You are going to do 3 rows of half double slip stitch. Then came our stitch, which is half double 2 together. Then I'm going to repeat, then I'm going to chain 1 and repeat row 3, and we are going to repeat from row 3 till we reach the size or the measure that we want. Now let's do this together. As you already know, I'm using a medium size yarn that goes with 3.5 millimeter hook, but I'm using 4 millimeter hook, half millimeter bigger than the yarn recommend. So this is a tip for you. Whenever you want your work to be a little bit loose, you go up with the crochet hook. Now to start, I'm going to work multiple of 2 plus 1 with a bigger hook like this, 4.5 millimeter hook, doing my first foundation chain. So by now you already know how to chain, so I'm going to do it. Now I have made my 26 chains, and as you can see, I'm not pulling it so tight or leaving it unflat. I'm just putting it across my table or the thing that I crochet on, and just it measure 6 inches and a half. Don't worry about these inches, my work will get bigger with working on. Now I'm going to change my hook into 4 millimeter hook, and I'm going to start what my short says. Here I do have chain 1, then work half double crochet all along the row. So I'm going to chain 1, and as I recommend, just mark this chain with a stitch marker, which will help me after that when I finish my row. This is how I do half double crochet. I just yarn over the hook like this and insert my hook in the second chain, not the one with the marker, but the one next to it, like this here, and yarn over, pull through. I have 3 loops on the hook. I just yarn over and pull through all these 3 loops together like this. Now I'm going to do a half double crochet in the next, yarn over, insert the hook in the next chain, yarn over and pull through. You have 3 loops, yarn over and just pull through all these 3 together. Now you can see that these 2 fingers, I usually hold my yarn so I would control it. Now yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over and pull through. You have 3 loops. Now you are going to work this half double crochet all along the row. Now I have reached the end of my row, and I am doing my last half double crochet like this in the last one. The chart says that I'm going to chain 1, then do this new stitch like this. I'm going to chain 1, turn my work, mark this chain 1, and then start working half double slip stitch. I'm not going to work in this stitch here because this is the chain that I did. I'm not going to work in this chain. I'm going to work in this chain, the second one, the second stitch here, in both loops. As you already know that we have 2 loops for the stitch, I'm going to insert my hook under these both 2 loops. Now to work half double slip stitch, I'm going to yarn over the hook, insert my hook in both loops under these both loops, and just yarn over and pull through. I have here 3 loops on my hook. Now I'm not going to yarn over, I'm going to take this last loop here and just insert it in both these 2 loops, and this is how you work the half double slip stitch. I'm going to do it again. Yarn over, insert the hook in the next stitch, yarn over and pull through as if you are doing regular half double crochet. Now in this one here, this last loop, I'm going to pull it across these 2 loops here. Now again, yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over and pull through. You have 3 loops. Just take this last loop here and insert it in both 2 loops like this, and this is what you get. Just let me make it clear. This. Now yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over and pull through as if you are doing half double crochet. You have 3 loops. Take this last loop and just insert it through these 2 loops. Now to make things better and more easy to do, you just do a regular half double crochet. Now with these 2 fingers, just hold the last one like this, like this. I hope this is clear. And just when you move your hook, it just get firm and you just pull through these 2. Now again, now I came to the end of my row here and I'm doing my last stitch before the last one, and just this is the last stitch here, the one just before the stitch marker. I'm not going to insert my hook in the one with the stitch marker because this is the height of my row, right? Now I have finished my first row here, and just I'm going to show you how it looked like. This is how it looked like from here, and this is the back of the stitch here, and this is how it looked like from the front. See, this gives a nice texture and it just gives you a twisted stitch like this. It gives very good texture actually. Now we are going to chain 1 and turn our work and just mark this chain 1. For those who asked about the border for the square and they find a hard time to do the border, you can keep your stitch marker in each row, and by this you can just insert your hook in the chain or the stitch that has the stitch marker when you are doing the border. But of course, for those who can manage their way, it's better to leave it so you get comfortable while working. Now to make row 2, you are going to do the same stitch that we have done already. Like, you're going to yarn over, insert the hook. I'm not going to insert my hook in the chain or the stitch that I have done and made the stitch marker in. The second one, this is the one here under both 2 loops, and just do a half double crochet and just slip the last loop over both 2 loops. Now I'm going to repeat this until the end. Now I have reached the end of my row. This is the stitch where the marker is, and this is the last stitch. It's a little bit tricky because it's a slip stitch, but you will manage. This is the last stitch, this one. Just after this knot. this one here. Like this. Now you are going to chain one, turn your work, mark your stitch, and do another row of half double crochet half double crochet slip stitch. So basically you are working 3 rows of half double slip stitch. I have finished row 3 and just chain 1 and turn, and before doing the 4th row I'm going to show you how it looks like. It looks like this. It's a little wavy stitch, like the waves here. I like that name, like this. To start row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To start row 6, this what says the bottom. I have already chained. This is row 1. Now row 2 I have made half double crochet all along. Then 3 and 4 and 5 I have made 3 rows of half double slip stitch. Now I'm going to start row 6, which is I'm going to chain 1 and do half double crochet 2 together, and I'm going to insert my hook in the same stitch here and do half double crochet 2 together, just like the previous stitch, little flower between the line that we did in the previous video. I'm going to yarn over, insert the hook in the second chain and do half double crochet, leaving the hook. I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook in the next one and do half double crochet. I have 5 loops on the hook, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 5 loops together. This is the one. Now I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook in the same stitch, yarn over and pull through. I have 3 loops, yarn over and insert my hook in the next and do half double crochet. I have 5 loops, just yarn over and pull through all those 5. Gives you a very beautiful textured stitch here. Now I'm going to do the same all along the row. And don't forget to insert your hook in the same stitch while doing this. It's very textured and you can see this thing. It's like feather stitch. Now I am almost at the end. I'm going to do another one. And I have one last chain here or stitch. I'm going to do 2 together and just finish my row with a half double crochet here. Regular one. Just insert the hook and you have 3 loops. You just finish it with one stitch. This is how it should look like this. You have here, this is the line between these 2 lines, and then you have a good texture of half double 2 together, like the feather, you know, the feather stitch, these rows. To start the other row or the next row, you are going to chain 1 and then you are going to turn your work and repeat from row 3. This is row 3, that you are going to do 3 half double crochet slip stitch, then going to do this row, then starting another 3 half double slip stitch, and so on. Now you can see that in this video I am introducing 2 different stitches. while doing this square. Before I go any further, just wanted to measure the square. And shall I remind you that we started with 6.5 inches square. Now we have reached this 7 and almost half inch square. I chain 1 and turn. I'm going to do 3 rows of half double slip stitch. Yarn over, insert the hook, just yarn over and pull through. I have 3 loops. Take this last loop and pull through the other 2 loops, and so on and so forth until I reach the end of my row. You are going to continue doing these variation until you reach the size that you want, but I will meet you before the end because I'm going to end my square with regular half double crochet. That this is the one that I started with. I have done the last chain in the row. Now I have to do another chain which is little bit aside like this here. This is the first chain that I started with. This is the first chain that I chain 1 to give the height, and this is the first one here. 2 half double crochet 2 together, and just don't forget to make this last one. It will always be like this on under the stitches, so take care, because if you don't or mess this stitch, your work won't get even, or you won't get straight edges. So you just need to do. If you're not sure that you have done this stitch, just count the stitches that you start with, and of course I started with 26 because all my squares will get 26 chains. I will just continue doing this repetition. Just don't forget to chain 1 at each row and turn, and just do half double slip stitch, and all along the row 3 rows of this stitch, then a row of this stitch, and continue doing all this. Now I have finished all my rows here. As you can see, I'm finishing the last row. That's the one before the last. I'm doing just half double crochet slip stitch, and just don't forget the last one here. See, at each row, if you want your work to be unified and straight. Now chain 1 and turn your work to finish the square as I started it in here, like this. Now I have made the turning chain and just turn. Now I'm going to do a regular half double crochet in each chain or stitch. Now I have reached the end of my row, the last stitch here, and take care that you don't miss it. Finish it with half double crochet. Now I have finished all my square. Just it's time to measure it and tell you some tips about the measurements. Now I started with 26 and it measured around 6.5 inch. Now it's almost an 8 inch. Without stretching it, 7.5 inch. Now, and for the length, it's 7.5. Now, without doing the border and without stretching it, you can just stretch it a little bit like this, like that we have done in the previous square. But first, let me show you something tricky about doing the rows for this square. Now I have started with doing 1/2 double crochet in each chain, which gives me that height. But you can see, and I will try to make it clear for you. Now you can see that this row equal in height these 3 rows. I have done here 3 rows of half double slip stitch, which means that this height is not equal to this height. So I can't consider this as row 1 and this as row 2. No, I will be considering these 3 rows as 2 only. So when I do my repetition, I will repeat 3 rows of slip stitch, of half double slip stitch, and 1 row of 2 together as a unit. As for my 8-inch square, I have done 6 units of these 4 rows. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and finish with another 3 half double slip stitch, and the last row I did as half double crochet regular 1. So my work is unified from here. So you can see that it's not necessarily that you are doing 26 repetition or 26 rows of these stitches. You just need to continue doing these 4 row repetition until you reach the size that you want, and finish with doing 3 more other rows of slip stitches and half double crochet slip stitches, of course, and just finish your row with half double crochet regular 1. Now we are going to measure this. After stretching it, you will find it almost 8 without the edges, and just 7 and almost 8 like this, like this, without the edges. And I'm going to show you again quickly how to make the edges. I'm going to chain 1 and just mark this, so I will end up in here. This is the tricky part actually, because you only need to do 26 chains all around the side, in this side and in this side. You just need to adjust your work to make only 26. Now, but be careful that with each half double crochet you are going to do a single crochet. You have to do single crochet like this, and insert and just try to insert your hook in both loops. So I have started with the half double crochet regular 1, and I made single crochet in this. It's easy, but I'm going to do 2 only single crochet all across these 3 rows like this. You just need to insert your hook in this row, the first one, like this, and just skip this part here and just do another single crochet in the next one like this. And now you get to these 2 loops here, which is the half double crochet in the line, and you are going to make single crochet. Again, I have these 3 repetition of slip half double crochet slip stitch, and I'm going to insert my hook in the first one here and skip this row and just do another single crochet in the next row here. And I will find my half double crochet and do a single crochet, and so on and so forth. Now I am almost at the end of my edges here. Just insert my hook in here, and I have reached the last half double crochet. And now I have reached the corner here, and I'm going to do 3 single crochet. Now I have reached the end of my row, and this is the chain that I made, and this is the last one in the row. I'm going to do 3 single crochet, 2, 3, and just join this in the stitch that I made here, or the first one. The first one is better, like this, and just pull the yarn and cut it. And this is an important step for you. You need all your squares to end with the same number of chains here or the stitches here, because when you are going to join them, you are going to join these together. This is 8-inch square, and this is 8-inch. Now I have made my square unified, and this is the look of the stitch. Of course, you can do many variation of this stitch. It's very texture. You will definitely feel the texture of this stitch while working, like the first one. As you can see, I introduced only one stitch of half double crochet and use it with different techniques and created many stitches out of it. I have introduced 2 variation of stitches here in the same square with you, half double crochet slip stitch and half double crochet 2 together. I hope you like this stitch, and really thank you all for your supporting and beautiful comments and feedback that you do on the Facebook group and on YouTube. Thank you.